President Biden facing a new wave of criticism for how he plans to get over 10,000 Americans and countless Afghans out of the country. The White House now says it is relying on the Taliban to allow safe passage for people trying to flee. That, as we are learning, the terror group has formed a ring outside of the Kabul airport and is controlling who gets in. New video shows Taliban fighters hauling somebody away and kicking him in the face. And a former contractor tells Fox the Taliban have checkpoints all around the city and are beating people who are trying to flee for the airport. Despite that, the White House is refusing to commit to keeping troops on the ground until all Americans are evacuated. And President Biden's past comments about leadership and America being back are coming back to haunt him after his blame-shifting speech yesterday.
The one thing I promise you I'll do, I'll take responsibility. I inherited a deal that President Trump negotiated with the Taliban. America's back, leading the world, not by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. American troops cannot and should not be fighting in a war and dying in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight for themselves. I also wanted to put the world on notice. America is back.
All right, Jesse, you are back. Let's turn it over to you to get some thoughts. Do you have some?
I wanted to get out of Afghanistan, but not like that, Dana. Imagine having 20 years to plan for something, and this is the result. Jesse Jr. could have planned a better exit strategy. In fact, Greg, he peered over his crib on Sunday and said, Dad, why didn't President Biden leave in some air support in order to buy time for the evac? I said, it's a great question. I don't know. We're sitting on Sunday watching these images of people clinging from airplanes, the Taliban parading around with our weaponry and ISIS jailbreaking, Americans surrounded. Joe Biden says, we planned for this. Really? I'd like to see what winging it would look like, Joe. He said, it's not my fault. Don't look at me. Really? He's the one that set the 9/11 pullout deadline with no conditions. Taliban heard that. They started advancing everywhere. He was getting intel briefings in June. He was getting them in July. He was getting them in August that showed the Taliban advancement. What did Joe do? Nothing. He actually went out on television after getting those briefings and said this wasn't going to happen. So Joe was slow. Joe lied, and then he remained on vacation. You can only hide incompetence for so long. Joe's done a good job of it. He hid when he was in the Senate. He hid as VP. He hid during the campaign. COVID let him hide. But now it's the Joe show. It's only him in charge. And right as that happens, it all blows up. He killed the Afghan exit, killed the border, killed vaccine confidence with the J&J pause. We should have seen it coming. The guy botched the Iraq exit. Guy stranded Americans in Benghazi. This was the man that was supposed to be an experienced Washington hand. He knew how to pull the levers of power. Listen to his intelligence advisors. Make sure we have strong alliances. And in one weekend, that's just shattered. I don't trust him anymore. Who's going to trust this guy? Oh, Joe's going to crack down on illegal gun trafficking in America? Just arm the Taliban. Oh, Joe, you're going to ask for billions for the Green New Deal? Really? How'd the billions work out training the Afghan army? That's how it's going to go now. And I'm sorry, this is going to haunt Joe Biden for the rest of his short presidency.
Who was the leader who said the #1 threat to America was not the Taliban, not ISIS, not al-Qaeda, but white supremacy? Trump voters. So F him. He overestimated the white rube and underestimated the terrorists. He underestimated the Taliban. We forget, as Jesse points out, that he is wrong on everything. He didn't even want to go after bin Laden. So this is a consequence of his manufacturing of fear to somehow get back at a segment of the population under the lie of being a unifier. Again, par for the course, to your point. Every choice that he has made is to undermine order. The southern border, no process. Law and order, defund, and then say you didn't. Ignoring crime. Afghanistan, rip the Band-Aid off because that's the only way you can do it. Every decision results in absolute disorder. How can they come back to this? There should be resignations. And by the way, this is why they're keeping Kamala out of this, because they know he's done. He's toast.
Can I add the energy policy to that?
Yes.
In terms of, I think that is leading to some of these problems as well.
Yeah, throw the door open
Last
in
word
Western
to you, Kennedy.
throw the door open in Western Europe for Russia, but shut down our energy policy here. The surprise from the administration, whether it's Antony Blinken or the president or any number of advisors, like, man, we just did not see this coming. This happened so quickly, and it's like if you've ever known someone who's dated a crazy person and they just kept dating them because they were so scared to break up with them, it's like that. But the guy decided to break up with her at a baseball game during the World Series on the kiss cam.
Yeah.
So it's like the worst possible engineering of something that was
vivid
that was already going to go bad in the first place. And to your point, like, let's give them some credit. Let's say for 10 years people thought this might work out. Then at year 10, then you have 10 years to figure out how to get out. And you didn't listen to one person who had been there, one person who has studied this for their life's work, the academics in the military academies. You did not listen to anyone because they were all Cassandra and they all foretold what is happening right now, which could have dire consequences and sink this administration.
I would also add, just one comment on this, is that I believe that you'll see the intelligence community, as they're very good at doing. We've seen it for years. And they do it to all the presidents. Like, if their credibility is coming into question here, remember, they were the ones that were leaking to the media that they were telling them that this was a possibility. So you'll probably see more of that. And even Senator Menendez, New Jersey Democrat, said there's got to be accountability and hearings on that. So,
do you think this is worse than Watergate?
Everything.
Yes.
Literally everything. In fact, your new part of your hair is worse than Watergate.
Did something wrong with my hair?
I think it's back now.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you part it on the other side?
No, I put it back.
I parted it.
I feel